Hello dear friends, I am Professor Kakhaber Djakeli. We are speaking today about principles of branding, and we try to explain the role of brands in next future and the process of the branding and the skills of brand managers, what is needed and how to develop great brands for people and how to sustain these brands in future. So all about these topics I'm speaking today with you, and this is first chapter in principles of branding. So right now, why brands they exist? So there are two main factors. We need brands. Brands are our secret advisors. And why we need this kind of secret advisors? So because of two main factors. The first one, this is time. We have less time to decide ourselves. We should rely on some advisors. And the next one, we are not professional to select products and services ourselves, and we should rely on advisors. And who can be these advisors? These advisors can be only some great names, some great companies, some great products and services who occupied already very huge share in our mind. So this occupation of the share in our mind is entitled as positioning, but the entire process is entitled as branding. So branding starts with differences. All about the differences we are speaking when we try to develop some kind of brands and try to make people aware about new products and new services, what are going to be also next big brands in future. So we are saying that brands occupy great share in our mind. That means that someone has these great plans to occupy bigger share in our mind with products and services. That means that all the brand process and branding process can be divided into some kind of stages. The first one, this is identify and develop brand plans. After that, to design and implement brand programs. After that, to measure and interpret brand performances and control the process of brand and branding, and to know well what is the brand equity of the brands. So from which point we have this kind of great word, what is the brand? It's interesting thing. By the way, North nations of Europe, they had unique and wonderful term, brand. And this brand was translated as a process when you try to burn the name of owner or master on the skin of the cattle. So to distinguish one house, some kind of animal from another house animal, what is needed? This is the only needed process to make these house animals to bear different symbols of their masters and of their owners. That means that someone should do this kind of great violence to burn the name of the master on the skin of the cattle. So, and this process was entitled as brand in very, very old language of North nations of Europe. And from brand, we have right now brand. So brand has this kind of etymological origin from our time to the time of barbarian tribes of North Europe. So they established this kind of type of the title, and we use this title in little changing way. So brands, they first of all note to the master, they note to the company, they note to the destiny of some kind of product and some kind of process. They say that they are transparent and everybody can watch what is happening inside the brand. And brands in our time, they are products of society, they are products of community. That's why we say that brands, they rely on the mass culture of society and mass culture of social group. So there are many different stages of brand development concept, but our stage, what is last stage of brand development process, more oriented to the culture of society and culture of social group to which brands belonging. So right now we can speak about development of the brands, and we can say some words about our complex world. And individuals and business managers and everybody have less time and less time, and once again I want to repeat that they should rely to their secret advisors, and these secret advisors exist. They are brands. So brands, they make us to explore the importance issues in planning and implementing and evaluating of brand strategies. So we should try to know well what are the segments of the population towards which we are making our brands, and for whom we are devoting our activities and developing some kind of brands. To provide appropriate concepts, theories, models, and some kind of interesting programs of brand management, we need very professional knowledge of consumers. We should know well our consumers. So brand is all about the differences. We should say also little about official definition of the brand, what comes from American Marketing Association, and American Marketing Association says that this is a name, term, sign, symbol, design, or a combination of them intended to identify the goods and services of one seller or group of sellers and to differentiate them from those of competition. So technically speaking, then whenever a marketer creates a new name, logo, symbol for a new product, this kind of marketer thinks about how to occupy the share in the mind of customer, and if it's possible, that means that we are on right way of the branding. So beside many kind of things, we understand that there are many different levels to establish brand. First of all, we know well for whom we are doing this. After that, we know the purchasing habits of our customers, and we know where our customers buy great things, how much they pay, what they do, how they choose, how they select, to whom they ask advices and suggestions, and how they behave after that. So this is professional knowledge in consumer behavior. And finally, we understand that consumers, they do brands themselves through companies and organizations. Great organizations today, they listen to consumers, and through consumers they are doing brands. Who does brands in our time? In our time, brands are done by final customers, because companies, they are mechanical, some kind of bodies, mechanical, organized, some kind of entities who have skills to listen to customers and do real things for them. And they are some great manufacturers of dreams of final customers. This is the process of the branding. We say that brands are also great bridges between customers and companies. And to whom brands are belonging? This is the question. In our time, brands, they are more belonging to culture of society. So they are under rule of society, some community, some social group, or some kind of social, some class, geographical, some kind of location of the people who are doing great ideas, and these great ideas are turned into material goods or services through companies, organized manufacturers, organized companies fulfilling dreams of their final customers. So brand development has great cases, and one of interesting case what I want to tell you, this is case of Coca-Cola. So marketing mistakes occur in any kind of big company. In 1985, Coca-Cola replaced its flagship cola brand with a new formula. The motivation behind the change was primarily competitive, some kind of one. Coca-Cola did research, it was marketing research, but this marketing research was done not properly. It had a lot of mistakes, and they had finally the idea that people are drinking more sweet, soft drinks, and cola was not sweet, and Pepsi was more sweet, and they had idea that people turn into Pepsi because this is more sweet soft drink than cola. And so finally they changed the formula of cola, and they tried to make this cola more sweeter than it was usually. But what happened after that? Americans started their demonstrations in different cities, in Boston, New York, and other cities. 35,000 people, they demonstrated to have their cola back, and their some kind of slogan was to give us our cola back. At the end of these demonstrations, really cola was back, and what Americans liked, this cola was back really for them, and a lot of marketers were fired from Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola as a great company gave wonderful case to the world of marketing. So, and marketers, they understood that the face of nation could not be changed. So Coca-Cola in that period, even today, remains to be face of American nation. If product is face of nation, this product should not be changed at all. We don't have moral, ethical, economic, social, and other kind of some abilities to change the ingredients of the product, what is already face of the nation. So when we speak about brands, they bring a lot of good things to consumers. They try to make consumers happier. They reduce risks of consumers. They try to diminish some kind of costs of selection. They try to increase value for final customers. For manufacturers, they make them to survive during great troubles and financial crises. And they bring them great competitive advantage. They bring them great financial returns. So they simplify for manufacturers to handle with final customers. And they do great things for markets. They make markets more interesting. And they make people's choice more interesting because people know them already well and they recognize them immediately. So brands can reduce the risks in the product decision. So they can reduce functional risk. The product does not perform up to expectations. That means that these products, they should be forgotten by customers, and customers, they find new product what is already brand, and they think that brand is really quality and reducing their functional risks. So physical risks, financial risks, social risks, psychological risks, time risks, all of these risks can be reduced by brand management. So when we go to different kind of brands, we understand that there are business to consumer brands and there are business to business brands, and many companies, they only exist in this kind of business to business relation, and many brands are only between different kind of companies and between different kind of businesses. So how to develop brands for high-tech companies, for innovative markets? There are 10 great rules to develop brands for high-tech companies. First of all, it's important to have brand strategy that provides a roadmap for the future. Technological companies often rely on the faulty assumptions that the best product based on the best technology will sell itself really well. This is not true. Brands, they do a lot of motivations for final customers to choose product and know much more about products. So high-tech industrial managers should understand well brand hierarchy in their markets and manage the process of the branding in appropriate way. So the third stage and third rule is to know customer well. Many technologies, many new technologies, they are sometimes too early to be implemented to the market. Are customers ready to have this kind of new technology? And the rule number 4, this is to realize brand equity. What kind of brand equity can be established by high-tech companies, and how many customers can be loyal to this brand, to calculate brand equity at the some kind of stage of brand development of high-tech product. Also, brands owned by customers and not engineers, we should know this well. That means that this is very important to know the attitude of the customers towards high-tech and new kind of brands. So we should try to predict and forecast this relation between customers and high-tech products. So brand strategies need to account for the attributes of the company. Company should have already attributes of innovative body to make customers to believe that these companies, they have ability to innovate and to sustain on the market of innovations, because people love them. Companies have sustainability and perspective to do right things also in future. So this rule number 7, it is like brand building process needs great evaluation of resources of the company, and these resources should be calculated on the basic knowledge of the SWOT analysis. But SWOT analysis in our time are turned into TOFs. This new type of analysis, they try to calculate strengths and weaknesses together, strengths and opportunities together, to calculate, for example, some opportunities through some kind of strengths or traits or some kind of weaknesses of the company. That means that all kind of types of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and traits, they are grouped into real way if they occur together. If strengths and weaknesses, they will fight with each other. What kind of type of skills will win the game? So all times we should think how to reduce weaknesses to use more opportunities, and how to reduce weaknesses to use more strengths of the company. That's why the matrix of TOVs, this is real way to help companies to find their final customers. And about technologies, techniques, technical skills, and people should be in harmony to each other. Are customers already well prepared to have new technologies? Is their financial sources enough to cover expenses in a long way on the market? This should be taken into consideration. And also we should know all times about rapidly changed environment, and think about what kind of types of competitors we will have if we establish very expensive new type of high-tech brands. And these high-tech brands, if they are repeated by our competitors, and if they do some kind of same things, how we can have barriers, how we can have some kind of walls towards our rivals to survive on the market. Because we already put a lot of money, a lot of efforts in our real market, and how to try to defend our high-tech brands. That means that great innovations from some other competitors who easily repeat our innovations. And so the rule number 10, this is like the rule of investment, says all times that we should be well developed in financial way to establish high-tech brand and try to sustain on the market and find the position of the star and to be star on the market. That means that BCG matrix, the famous BCG matrix, is really wonderful thing to understand the development of new brand and new brand in the market of high-tech companies and high-tech products. Says that this kind of type of innovation firstly has the place of question mark on the market, but after some period we should turn into stars. If we turn into star, we need a lot of financial sources to retain this product as a star for a long period and try to put much more during some kind of time, because the market, what is growing really fast for high-tech products, this market tries to swallow all kind of bigger financial sources, and to be competitive we should also invest much financial sources into our products. So this is like branding rules for high-tech products and high-tech services. And we can say a lot of things about branding in political market, branding in the market of new type of books and new type of writings, and place branding, branding of the countries, branding of the cities, and step by step we will touch all kind of things. And right now we should say some kind of interesting things about 5 factors and rational, some kind of keys to make brands to be leaders of society. So this is 5 main keys of brand leadership. The first one, this is vision of the mass market. The second one, this is managerial persistence. The third one, this is financial commitment. The fourth one, this is innovation without any stop. And the fifth one, this is asset leverage. If you do all kind of key points, you will be leaders of the market for a long period, and your brands will sustain and be leaders of the market, and you achieve the position of the star according BCG matrix, what we all times take into consideration, because this matrix is wonderful, and this matrix all times shows some kind of guidelines towards future of the brands. So finally, I want to wish you great and nice branding. Thank you very much. Goodbye.